Hello and welcome to the Greater Reston Living Podcast. Today on the podcast, we're going to be covering the new casino bill that's just hit in Reston and why won't it die? We're going to talk about the Reston Town Center. Believe it or not, it's fully leased. And the Vantage Hill area of Reston is getting a whole new set of townhomes, and we're going to break them all down for you. So before we get started on that, though, Kathy, big snowstorm coming up, huh?
I know. Over the weekend, and it can be anywhere from 2 inches to 70. We don't know. I don't know what to expect, but what I will tell you is I was over at the worst, you guys voted, the worst parking lot in all of Reston. I was at the Trader Joe's today. It was a zoo, as always. And I know this weekend, and next couple of days, it's going to be a circus. I will not be going to Trader Joe's.
From a zoo.
But I'm excited about the snow.
From a zoo to a circus, huh?
From a zoo.
Circuses are crazier than zoos, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a little more acrobatic things going on and shimmying in and out of the park. Yeah. No, not doing it.
Okay. And then what about the Reston letter? A little news to share. Huh?
Oh. When you try to share the news, and then you wind up in the news. The newspaper.
Nice.
The local newspaper. Let me just show you. So, our local community newspaper. More than homes, Realtor uses Instagram to celebrate the community. We love Reston and Herndon, so thank you, Sarah Hickner, for the shout out, and thank you to the Reston Letter for sharing our story.
Nice. So people who maybe are used to getting the Reston Letter, right? They need to start subscribing if they were getting it in the mail, right? It's no longer automatically going in the mail, right?
It's not. You have to do a subscription. There's a monthly fee, but you can pick it up for free at the community centers, at the YMCA. A couple of the businesses around here have copies there. So you can always go pick it up for free.
Places around Lake Ann, places in the Reston Town Center will all have a copy, right?
Yeah.
And of course, online now too.
Yes. So if you didn't get it, a copy of it, go out and find it and read my article. It was so much fun.
It's gratifying, right?
It is.
Okay. Well, all right. Let's get started with our main topics of the day. And to start, we're going to talk about this casino bill that just won't die. I mean, what is going on, right? I guess Richmond's back in session, right? Now governor's sworn in, everything. And once again, we have another representative down in Richmond. This case is Scott Surreville, Democrat from the Mount Vernon district. And he's down talking about the addition of a new casino bill. And basically the bill sets out that it's only really going to be able to be done in Fairfax County, despite the fact that there isn't a whole lot of support for this in Fairfax County. Kathy, is this crazy or what?
It is. And 75% of Fairfax County residents have already said, we don't want it. Stop. It's going to be on the bill. So we're going to have to vote again and say that we want it or we don't want it. But what I found also very interesting is that with the guidelines, Tysons seems to be the only spot that they're able to do this, where it's near a mall, near the interstates, which makes it's the only spot that they can do it, which is why they keep pushing it.
Right. So in fact, this is the actual text of the bill here. We're looking at the patch, who did a nice job covering this in the patch for Reston. Any proposed site for a casino gambling establishment considered by Fairfax County shall be 1, located within 1/4 of a mile of an existing station on the Metro Silver Line. So it even specifies the exact train line that it could be on. Not the orange line, but the silver line, for example, or not the blue line. And so that means Reston is possibly in danger here, right?
Yeah.
But part 2 part of a coordinated mixed-use development project consisting of no less than 1.5 million square feet. Now, I don't exactly know how many square feet are at the Reston Station or Reston Town Center, but we're probably in that zone. Certainly, some of the developments in Tysons are. And then number 3 has to be within 2 miles of a regional enclosed mall containing not less than 1.5 million square feet of gross building area for the mall, and outside of the Interstate 495 Beltway. So this essentially leaves, I think Reston got spared with that third clause, regional enclosed mall, right? So they're talking about Tysons, Tysons Corner. So I think we're spared, but you never know. This thing just doesn't die. So I guess this is going through. We'll see whether or not they vote for it. The good news is, I'm just scrolling back a little bit in here. The supervisor covering the Hunter Mill district here, which is Walter Alcorn, and is supervisor for Fairfax County and the Hunter Mill district of Fairfax County, which covers Reston, of course. He was able to slide into this bill or get wording into this bill that says, if this bill passes, it will require that there is a referendum from the county. So it's not like Richmond can just slam this into Fairfax County without the Fairfax County residents weighing in. At least we think, if this bill is to be believed at this point.
And there was something with the tax revenue was going to go to Richmond, but Fairfax County residents were going to foot the bill for the infrastructure and the maintenance on the building. So
that's right.
There's a lot going on.
So it's sort of like, it seems like the people who would benefit from any economic output of this particular casino or the development that houses the casino would largely be the developers themselves or the state as a whole, but not necessarily Fairfax County residents, right? Because we get a much smaller portion of the state revenues than the rest of Virginia does. And so we would essentially house this thing and get less of the tax revenue back to it. So,
right.
Yeah, lots of problems all around. Even if you're a fan of casinos, I don't think I'd be a fan of how this whole thing is constructed, at least, right? So,
well, the people have spoken, and we're just going to speak again.
Exactly. On the topic of developments, there is, the major development in Reston, which is the Reston Town Center, right? So the Reston Town Center announced just the other day, and here it is now announced in Fairfax Now, where the new Reston Town Center offices are fully leased with retail coming. I think a lot of people would be surprised to hear that there's 100% occupancy in Reston Town Center. Were you surprised to hear that, Kathy?
A little, but not so much. With everything that's happened in the past couple of years, where Boston Properties came in and a lot of the businesses left, and having it full, people came back. And having it fully filled again with a bunch of new places and little mom and pop shops, little businesses, it's kind of exciting. And I'm pretty excited to see what's coming with RTC next, because
right.
Dogfish is coming, and we do love Dogfish.
Of course, yeah. So let's break it down a little bit. A couple of things, right? One is we posted this out on our Instagram, and there was, it created quite the stir. I think some people were surprised. And some people had some comments around things like, they wish that there were more small businesses in Reston, things like that. And I think we both totally agree. Small businesses are the lifeblood of this. And most of those small businesses, you're going to end up finding them outside of the Reston Town Center. Places that we've covered on the Instagram channel, right? Like Chibu Bakery in Lake Ann, or Dano's Granola over in... off
and
of
River Sea
Sunset
Chocolate
Hills.
too. Mm-hmm.
River Sea. And there's other ones that aren't just, food related. Obviously, tons of small businesses in Reston, but they're not necessarily located in the town center. However, there are a handful, right? So, I mean, part of it's the reality. You just aren't going to
Yeah.
be able to afford, if you're a small business, the rent
The
that's
rent.
charged in, the one of the premier locations in all of Fairfax County, which is one of the richest counties in the country, right? So you got that just against the ability to have small businesses here, unless Boston Properties wanted to, out of the goodness of their heart, discount their rates just to have some small businesses. And who knows? Maybe they do that to some extent. We do have a couple of them, right? We have Abrigot, right, which is the new. I don't know what even to call that. It's kind of like nuts and snacks place. Maybe we need to do a video on that, Kathy.
We need to go over and check them out.
Check it out. And we just recently looked at Ovisi, the art gallery.
The art boutique. She
Right.
was lovely. Go say hi to Miriam, who runs the boutique.
Right. Small business, of course. And then, we've had Scrawl Books here for independent bookstore for quite a while. I mean, they're not in the premier location in the Reston Town Center, but they are in the town center. So, there are a few of these small business, maybe Molly's Dog Care over at the Skymark, right? And people don't realize that's part of Reston Town Center. And in fact, what they were talking about here with this Reston Town Center was they really were announcing the fact that these large buildings, you can see here on the screen, were fully leased out, right? So the main people that are in there right now is Fannie Mae in one of the buildings, and Volkswagen is the headliner in another one. And there is Peraton, I think, is the other tech company that's in that building. And I think they then just inked the last bit of space from another company. So all of those offices are now leased out. And the Reston Town Center, the core original portion of Reston Town Center, pretty much been like 98 to 100% leased up for the last several years, right? So this has been an ongoing trend that the Reston Town Center is sort of being considered sort of they call it a flight to quality, where there's a lot of problems with the office leasing market, and very few people, there's lots of high occupancy in most office buildings across the country, but not in the premier locations, what they call trophy class. And so Reston Town Center and Reston Station are trophy class properties. And so as a result, you're seeing that they are getting all of the traction while the other areas are not doing as well. But there's several good, some things that people, I think individual people would care most about are the openings that are coming soon in the Reston Town Center. You mentioned
Clarity, Dogfish, Toastique.
Yep. Good ones. Another one called Grazie Nonna, right? A high-end Italian. I think they are a local chain, local regional type chain. I think they have a place in DC. Potomac Noodle House. There'll be an animal hospital, Live Well Animal Hospital. So I'm not sure where that's going. You mentioned Clarity,
Yeah.
right? So they're moving from, people might know them from Vienna, right? They were.
Well, they're
kind
not
of like
moving from, they're opening
Well, yeah.
another one.
Good point.
Yeah.
It's another location. So lots of good stuff coming. For folks that don't know, the RTC Next area is the area with Skymark Apartments, the area with the Volkswagen and the Fannie Mae, and then also the hotels, the AC. I was going to say AC Milan, but the AC hotel and the
with the rooftop
Residence
bar
Inn.
sitting at the top. So the only
Exactly.
rooftop bar in Reston. You should check it out. It's fun.
Check it out. Anything else to say about the town center?
No, I feel like the only thing I would add is that we've had a lot of people comment on our page what's going on, and a lot of people are very worried about what the traffic is going to look like. So that
Yeah.
should be,
Yeah, that's
some
a general theme of basically the new development that's happening in and around Reston. In fact, I think one person was talking about like, oh, please, please, no more growth. Bob Simon would be rolling over in his grave. I hear that one a lot. And in fact, I looked it up, and Bob Simon actually expected to have 75,000 people in Reston. That was the projection. And we're only at about 68,000, if you can believe it. Now, a lot more come in daily for work, but so that's a lot of the traffic. But the goal was
Reston
75.
was always meant to grow.
Right. But we just wish that we could grow with a little more catch up on the infrastructure, I guess. All right, let's switch gears. And we've got a new townhome development that's going on. We did a short video on this one that folks can check out on YouTube or on Instagram. But let's see what we got here. It's called Vantage Hill, and people in Reston may know Vantage Hill from the condos that are already over there. Kathy, where's this located?
Path. It's over off of North Shore, over by Wainwright. And so it's not necessarily, you can see it from the road. You kind of have to drive down Wainwright to see it. It's only a small little pocket of townhomes that are going to be built. There's going to be 28 of them. So they've already leveled the land, and they're supposed to have a model in May.
Okay.
So it's coming soon.
And that's kind of the rumor, right? Because we haven't seen that directly from the company itself, but the word on the street, if you will, is that we'll have a model about May. And it looks like they're definitely, the place is cleared out, right? And they're doing work. They were doing work the other day when we went by. So 28 townhomes. And so this is going to be sort of an exclusive neighborhood, right? Unlike the Sunset Station neighborhood, I think they're going to have, a couple of hundred townhomes. This one's only 28. So if you like the design on this, you need to get going. And we actually will have, we have started a VIP list. So anybody who was out there who does want some help understanding what this is all about beyond this podcast, just reach out. We can get you on our list, and we can keep you up to date on this. I kind of like the design. It's following that more urban looking townhome style that we've been seeing, but it's a little bit more unique. What do you think? What do you think of the design, Kathy?
I like it. I think it's fun. But you know what I really like about it is the location. It's literally walkable to Reston Town Center and to Lake Anne. So you're in the center of it all. Yeah,
exactly.
And the paths right outside your front door.
Right. And there's, there are going to be there's only 28. Some of them are going to be enter in on the ground floor, right? They're going to be 3 levels, enter in on the ground floor. And others, depending on the layout of the land, may end up, I don't know if I have a shot of that, where you end up entering in the main level, right? So there's pros and cons of each. There's a small flight of steps to get up into the main level. You're going to have a half of your basement be a basement, right? The other half will be the garage going up the back. But I like the designs. They're nicer than the typical square boxes. So of course it's a townhouse. Townhouses are townhouses, but it's nice to see a little bit of an extra flair in the design. There's going to be quality finishes in there as well, as most of these townhouses are now. They're sort of luxury townhouses. We're talking about homes that are going to be starting in the mid 900s, which really means by the time you get a hold of one and you've put in your design options,
all the upgrades,
all those upgrades, you're going to be in the
that costs money,
easily $1,050,000, maybe more than that, right? Depending on how much you want to outfit it. The kitchens are all going to be quartz. Nice little kitchen here, quartz, big counters, all the trends that are happening now. Fully Bosch appliance set, which is nice. We just got a new Bosch dishwasher, right, Kathy? It's beautiful.
It has changed my life. For anybody, dishwashers do not get a GE profile. We had a Bosch. Then we wound up, I don't know how, I think somehow we wound up with a GE profile that was trash. It was garbage. And our dishwasher broke on Christmas Day, and we just got the new dishwasher. So we've been hand washing all the dishes. And I'm just going to say, now that we got the Bosch, my dishes have never sparkled so much. I'm here for the Bosch.
Anything else about the Vantage Hill that I missed there, Kathy?
No, I think it'll be interesting to watch it come, it built and what happens to that area. But it's 28 homes, and Reston needs more homes, and people, want more affordable homes, although these are not necessarily that affordable, but we do need more homes.
Yeah, I think actually that's a good point, because everybody is talking about the affordability. And every time we post anything about any of these new developments, people are just saying either one of two things. Like, why aren't we getting more single family homes? Right? That's one big one that I hear a lot.
That's a big one.
Now, I mean, it would be nice. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that you have to think about some of these developments. Like last week, we talked about the T-Mobile redevelopment, where they're going to be taking down 3 huge buildings. And when they take those 3 huge buildings down, first of all, that costs a lot of money to tear those down and refinish the entire area. But it costs a lot of money for these developers to buy the land, because they're buying these old office buildings that are in the millions and millions and millions and tens of millions of dollars. And so it's just not possible to take them down, buy the land, take them all down, and then build, only 30 new single family homes. Those would
versus 80 or 120.
1,000 new homes in the development, right?
Right.
So that's why Reston is seeing a lot of density, or that's one reason why. The other reason is, of course, there's density in that urban core because we've got the metro there, and it only makes sense to have that density there. So that's the one thing, single families. The other thing people are always talking about is the affordability, because everything that's new is coming in at super high prices, right? We're talking about $1 million townhomes.
$1 million plus.
Exactly. If brand new if there were a new single family new construction neighborhood in Reston, we would be easily at the $2.5 million mark for that kind of a neighborhood, right? We're seeing that the average, 35, 40-year-old single family home in Reston is at 1.2 at this point. So if you're going to do new construction, it's going to be 2.5, easy. So that would not be affordable either. So affordability is a challenge. I think ultimately, if we get enough housing in the area, it ends up that what happens typically is that the existing home inventory gets a little bit flatter. It still will appreciate, but it won't appreciate at the high rates that all the new construction is. And so it becomes a little more affordable as people's incomes catch up and as interest rates come down. But really, there's a lot of factors there, and I don't have very good answers for people. I don't even think, the economists do. It's just a tough situation that we're in right now from an affordability perspective. So, all right. With that, I think we've got a wrap for today, Kathy.
Yeah, it was fun.
That's right. So if you're out there and listen, I want to tell everybody, hit subscribe. If you like our content, hit subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're going to be all over. We're on Instagram at Greater Reston Living. So you just look for us on your favorite platform at Greater Reston Living. And if you want more content like this in your inbox, subscribe to our Reston Insider. We'll put the details down below. It's a weekly newsletter, just gives you update on everything happening.
And it's a lot
Reston.
of fun.
Lots of good stuff.
It's a lot of fun.
All right. See you, Kathy.
All right. Bye.